And why will the season be different from last in your eyes? Why do you think the seasons that they had, from October to May, could it be different in your eyes?
Um, I think the biggest thing is expectation. Like, it kind of sucks to say because last season is probably as fun as it gets in terms of like coming into the season, just because there was no like I was one of the more optimistic voices coming into the last season on the media side of things, because I thought they'd have a shot at the play in, let alone like winning playoff games. As a 6 seed is never something that would cross my mind. So now that we're coming into this season, there is expectations and there's pressure, and that could really go one of two ways for the Pistons, where you can respond with a more serious, aggressive way of coming into the season, where it's, hey, like we were at the playoffs, we could have won a playoff series against a team that made it all the way to the conference finals. Now we know what it takes, right? Like that's one thing. But on another hand is the pressure of expectations on a younger team that is led by a young all-star franchise player who doesn't really have a certified co-star, right? Like, and this has always been a conversation we've had, where what does that look like this season with, a different offense with Duncan Robinson slotting in for Malik? Like, is that a 1-for-1 swap? Like, because Malik had one of the best shooting seasons of all time. That's not exactly something you can just bank on. And Duncan Robinson's also the best 3-point shooter in Miami Heat history, right? But again, there's like expectations. I find it difficult to be like, this team's going to be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, this or that. I just essentially, I think most people are expecting something similar to last season, if not a little bit better. And I think that's ultimately what makes it different. I think the environment around this team will be different. I think the way that this team is covered on a national level will be different. I think the biggest things in terms of players that are going to be different, I see much different things in the plans for Asar Thompson, in terms of having a healthy offseason for the first time in his career, and also having the experience of guarding the primary offensive player in a playoff series, like guarding Jalen Brunson in a playoff series. I think having that experience under his belt is going to be really huge. Jalen Duren, what does he look like if he doesn't get an extension? Does he play with more hunger? Same for Jaden Ivey. What does he look like post injury? It's just a lot of different perspective rather than like tangible different things, if that makes sense.
No, I think that's a really good observation by you. Like, last season, coming off a 14-win season, there was no expectations. Like, if you were a 10 seed, that's success in itself, because you've been at the bottom of the barrel during the whole Troy Weaver regime and the era. So now you actually have expectations. And it reminds me a lot of Stan Van Gundy's first couple of years, where, he goes 44-38, but they don't make the playoffs the following season because they had injuries. So I think this is the first time since then where there are actually expectations among the fan base. Like, I asked the question earlier this week, I said, how many games do you think they'll win? Like, I saw a lot of 50s. Like, I haven't seen that probably since I was a kid, since like going to work era. Like, that just kind of shows you, like, you give Pistons fans just a little taste of playoffs, man, they're locked in. They're ready to go.
Yep. Yeah, and I in terms of things that'll be different, I think you'll see a lot more of a lively and full Little Caesars Arena consistently this year than you did last year, or even any year before that, if we're going to be completely honest. So I think that will be different as well. I don't know if I'd go 50. I would say like smooth, like 47. I would say like 46-47 wins is ideal, and honestly, like a huge win in and of itself. So yeah, I do expect this team to be a lot more exciting coming into the season than it, because a lot of times, like, I mean, this, like, coming into the off season, and now we're a month away from the season starting, usually it's like, hey guys, like this is why you should care. Like this is
Yeah.
why like maybe this year's going to be different. But now there's people that are already tuned in. And a lot of people have expectations. Cade doesn't have the will he be an all-star? Will he be an all, like he already has proved himself on that level. It's just about where does it go from here? Like how much farther can you take it? And that in of itself is exciting, and it doesn't need me or you to do the selling because everybody's already invested.
No, I haven't actually had to make a video telling people why they should be excited. People are just excited because they played a New York Knicks team and they weren't 100% healthy. They were without two guys, and even people in the organization's like, yeah, we feel if Isaiah Stewart or Jaden Ivey was healthy, we'd beat them. Like, there's no way that they beat us in a first round series. And you could kind of see the physicality in like the second round with the Knicks against Boston. And they were like, yeah, Detroit woke us up. Like the way that they played, they really prepared us for, Boston to make an Eastern Conference Finals run against the Pacers. But I mean, it's kind of weird, man. Like offseason content's been really dry and it's been so boring. But it's just like good organizations are boring. There's no drama. Obviously, there's drama this offseason with the Pistons, but it's not anything like in the front office. It's not, should we fire the coach? Should we fire the GM? Like there's stability now. And we haven't had stability in quite some time.
Yeah, it's weird because we're used to this team kind of being like a revolving door of players and coaches and GMs. Like it's now kind of at a stable point, and it's really just about keeping it here and raising it a little bit higher. I feel like this is a really important season in terms of, like, we're talking a lot about expectations, like expectations for where certain players on this team can go. I mean, like, let's just be honest, Jaden Ivey, right? Huge part of this team, has a contract extension coming up. What does he look like post injury, right? Like, what does he look like post injury? What does he look like next to Cade? Like, this is ultimately a year of what do we do to maximize our ceiling? And I think that's exciting because it's been a lot of questions around this team for a really long time that will inevitably get answered one way or another this season, and also will be answering it in the context of winning basketball. Because before that, the selling point of the season is like you get to see Cade and Ivy play together, and you can figure out the rest along the way. Like maybe they'll sniff a play in, like maybe if we're lucky. But now the expectation is playoffs, and I think that's how it should be with a franchise that's known for winning.
Yeah, it's like during the rebuild, it's just like selling point. Because I used to get the phone calls from like ticket salesmen and be like, "Hey, so and so has a bobblehead night. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And then you get like a phone call to like, hey, like we got the Lakers really soon, really early on the schedule. LeBron, like that, even like the ticket salesman, when you're talking on the phone with them, like their vibe is different, their energy is different. So I mean, I feel like the whole city is just kind of like that the pulse of Detroit Pistons basketball is back to beating, and it feels good, man.